why it fits into this channel perfectly. That's why listening to Andrew Tate is a very healthy thing, because he will instill these ideas into your mind and you'll start thinking about the possibilities of being free. My dear friend, my best, absolute, most beautiful, amazing friend that is on the other side of the screen right now. This is a very important video. These are things that I learned just recently, and most of it came from Andrew Tate. Now trust me, you need to know these things. So watch the entire video, okay? Let's get into it. Now first of all, you might have heard of Andrew Tate and that he does bad things. Trust me, this man is amazing. This man is one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet, and he wants to do a lot of good for the world. If you listen to him, you'll hear him saying beautiful things, things that you will 100% agree with. Here's what I've learned from him and people with a similar mindset. You see, the thing is, people think that living off-grid is the solution to escaping from the system, when it really isn't. The solution is not to go to the country, have a farm, and that's it. That is not the solution at all, actually. The solution is to play the game, but to your favor. The solution is to be on as many grids as possible. Currently, you're probably on one grid. You're being controlled by one government, so they have all the control over you. So you might own a property there, and this and that, and you have no other place to go, and they can take this property from you, so you have to obey them, okay? They've got power over you, because you don't have any alternatives. So instead of not belonging to any country at all, and not being able to take part in the human technologies that we have right now, instead of doing all of that and not having any freedom to choose once you go off grid, why not go on multiple grids? You see, if you've got one passport, you're a slave to that country. But if you've got two, well, you don't need to really listen to any of them. If this country goes to shit, well, then you can go to the other country. If this country says, well, pay your tax, or they have some bullshit kind of tax policy that you don't agree with anymore, well, then you go to this country. And what are they gonna do? Are they gonna follow you there? No, because you're a citizen over here. You can just renounce your citizenship, and they won't. It takes too many resources to keep chasing you, so they won't. So if you're under two governments, and one of them is maybe more friendly and one of them is more, more of an authority when it comes to enforcing things, well, then you can go to the other country. Now, let's say you have 3 passports, you have 3 citizenships. Well, now you can go to 3 countries. Well, let's say you have 10 passports, 10 citizenships. Well, now no one has control over you. You can jump around as much as you want, and no one can track you down. Now, what governments usually do when you do something bad, and I'm not saying that I or anyone else, for that matter, watching this channel is gonna do anything illegal. What I'm trying to say is, the way you get freedom is not by going off grid. It is by being on as many grids as possible. If you have multiple citizenships, multiple passports, you have freedom. We've covered where can I go, who do I have to follow, and the main takeaway here is that when you have multiple passports, when you have citizenships, a bunch of citizenships, no government is gonna be able to rule you. You're under so many governments that you're under none of them. You're a free individual, because they don't have a system to keep track of you. They don't have enough cooperation to keep you in a box. Now we're gonna cover what can I get. So these monkeys that are on planet Earth invented money. So numbers on a screen that give you stuff. Oh, I have numbers on a screen, kind sir. Could you give me food? And he says, oh yes, I can give you food. Just give me the numbers on the screen and that's it. And then you get food. So you have this completely imaginary thing that doesn't exist, and you get stuff for it. Now let's say you have a lot of it. Now governments, if you're under one government, and if you do something that they don't like, or they do something that you don't like, well, the thing is they can freeze your bank account, and now you can't use the numbers on the screen. So that means they're able to take away your freedom of getting stuff. Now, the way you solve this is you get bank accounts in several countries. You get money all over the world. You diversify. Because now, if this country freezes your bank account, you can still do whatever you want because you had a fraction of your money over there. So now you've got total freedom when it comes to resources. Where can I go? What can I get? And now, what can they take away from me? Now, Andrew Tate gives a fantastic example, and that is, what happens if you don't pay your parking ticket? Well, the government will eventually take away your house because they'll increase the fee because you didn't pay, and now they need something in return, so they take your property. And you bought that property, let's say. So the illusion of ownership is just an illusion. Because it is an illusion, you can't own anything. How are you supposed to own anything? How is a monkey supposed to own anything? Yeah, there's a paper saying that this guy owns this, but essentially it's just a building. And what I'm trying to say is, even though the system exists in a manner that allows for ownership, it still doesn't exist. It still doesn't work, because if you don't pay a measly little parking ticket, they'll take away your house that you bought with numbers on a screen. So, the best thing to do is to rent. Always rent everything so that you don't own anything, so that the government can't take anything away from you. Alright? Because if you have a property in some country, well, now you have to look after that property. But if you rent, well, then you rent. Okay, so now you know. Many citizenships lead to freedom. Having no property leads to freedom because nothing is written in your name. They can't take anything away from you. And having multiple bank accounts so that you diversify where your money is located so that no government can freeze you, so to speak. But the thing is, how do you choose a country, and what factors do you need to consider? From here on out, the top G should be listening to me because I've got some spicy criteria to follow when it comes to choosing the best country out there. Now, the first one is obviously air quality. Okay, you need to pick a country, or more specifically a location, a city, where the air quality is good. So many people think, oh, if I go to Thailand, I'll eat fruits and everything is cheap and blah blah blah. Yeah, well, the air quality is shit, so you're gonna breathe in a bunch of pollution. Have you thought about that? No, you haven't. So always pick a location with good air quality, and the way to know if the air quality is good somewhere is you go into IQ Air, or Air IQ, something like that. I'll link it down in the description. Go in there, look at the city you're interested in, make sure that the air quality is good. Bam. Criterion number 2, safety. Now, safety has different aspects. First of all, you've got crime, okay? Low crime. So a thing that's good with Bucharest, Romania is that it's very safe. If you look at a bunch of statistics, it's very safe. Same thing with Georgia. I think these places like Georgia and Romania and many places in Eastern Europe are much safer than the Nordic countries. When it comes to safety, you've also got geographical considerations, so you can't be in a place where natural disasters are a thing. Okay, you have to be in a place where there aren't many natural disasters, where hurricanes are not gonna wreck your home, or earthquakes aren't gonna wreck your home. The third criterion is temperature. Now, you want a stable temperature of something that's warm and comfortable, where you can walk without a t-shirt on, without half naked, without feeling too warm and without feeling cold. Okay? And you want plenty of sunshine too. You want plenty of vitamin D3 throughout the year. And this it's hard to find such a country, but I'll give you a little hint. Usually the islands, because they're surrounded by so much water, the temperatures over there do not fluctuate throughout the year. They're pretty stable. So Bermuda, Vanuatu, St. Kitts and Nevis, those are pretty good. The fourth criterion is tax, because if a government is able to take away money from you, well, then they're imposing on your freedom. So we want a low tax country. If you're gonna actually execute on everything that I've told you in this video, you're gonna need money, okay? And this is why tax is so important, because you're gonna be in the 1% of wealth if you're gonna successfully do all of this. And if you're paying a bunch of tax, well, then this is gonna be harder, or at least you'll be paying a lot of money in taxes. So you want to register your business in a country that has a very low tax so that you don't need to pay as much. Freedom gives you happiness. And a part of freedom is being healthy. And another part of freedom is being able to do what you want, of course. So that's why this video is so important from a health perspective. That's why it fits into this channel perfectly. That's why listening to Andrew Tate is a very healthy thing, because he will instill these ideas into your mind and you'll start thinking about the possibilities of being free and exploring this planet as much as you want and exploring better alternatives than the ones you're subjected to right now. With that said, I hope you found the video useful, and if you're a young man, if you're a man, listen to Andrew Tate. He's a great example of a man and he has a lot to teach us all. And don't believe the narrative and the misogynist stuff. He's not a misogynist. You've just seen a bunch of jokes misplaced in shorts and then the media goes and attacks him because they have nothing else to do. They also want money. Go and achieve excellent health. I know you can do it.